G'day everyone, this is the R36XBLW30 Ryobi Whisper Series HP 36 volt blower, and I'll let you know right now, it's a beast. It puts out a heap of CFM, 730 in fact, and it is one of the best blowers I have ever used, and it's likes to lay down sometimes though. Now, if we take a quick look at it, we've got, it comes off just like that. And on the end, this is soft and rubbery, and it comes off the same sort of way, just pretty simple, clips on. As the rain starts to fall, we better get some blowing done. Features here, turn this dial and it will stay on. I will just remove the battery for a moment. So you can turn that and it will pull the trigger up and hold the trigger in place, as you can see, so you don't have to keep your finger on there, so you don't get fatigue in your hand. Especially good if you've got carpal tunnel or any sort of tendon issues in your arm. Just flick it on and away you go. And then on the top, the turbo button. But the thing a lot of you are going to want to know, it says Whisper Series. Is this thing quiet? Because blowers are notoriously noisy. Petrol blowers, of course, are a bit noisier than the battery versions, but is this quiet? Well, I think it is actually quite quiet. Let's take a listen on the lowest setting, which still pumps out quite a bit of air. It's a variable speed trigger, and you don't have to pull it very hard to get quite a bit of blow. There's a lot of blow that comes out of this thing. So let me demonstrate. I'll keep talking on my microphone, and as you can see, you can blow quite a lot with it making very little noise at all. I assume you can still hear me quite easily. And then I'll ramp it up. And even at that level, it is still quieter than most of the blowers I've used. She's got a fair bit of blow. And yeah, like I say, that low, you can use the dial here and just set it like that so you don't have to hold the trigger, and it blows quite well, just like that. So what I like is you can have it set with that setting, just running on low, and then when you need a bit more oomph, you've got the button here on the top, you can just give it a quick burst, take your finger off again, and then let it go back to this level. So it's like, oh, how am I going to shift that block of wood? Oh, fell over anyway. Let's give it a blast. Take your finger off, back to normal. Pretty cool. Let's take a quick look with it on that low setting, just blowing some grass around. So this is on the lowest setting, and as you can see, still blows small amounts of stuff around quite easily. But if we want to ramp it up, this is now on the highest setting without the turbo, but I assume you can still hear me quite well. I will now push the turbo button. Now I think that there was quite a good demonstration on the power, because these are not, that's not pumice or anything, these are heavy stones, and it blew them out of there, no problem at all. Unfortunately, now I've got to get them back in there. Well, I know what I can do. Hey, I can blow them back in. Let's give that a whirly. Work smarter, not harder. Might have to get my fingers in for these ones. Not too shabby. This thing is a machine, man. It's a total beast. I mean, that is awesome. That's a good blower. And I haven't got earmuffs on, and it seems less loud on the ears than every other blower I've used, because I hate the sound of blowers and I normally have earmuffs on. So yeah, pretty damn cool. I'm loving it. I reckon we've got some old iron under here. Let's take a wee look. Too easy. This thing clears dry bamboo leaves, no problem at all. Even gets them out of the stones. It's actually a bit too powerful. It's taken some of the stones with it. So I think when it comes to blowage, only the Ego will probably beat this when it comes to battery tools. What about runtime? Let's do a runtime test. I'll slap a 6 amp hour battery on it straight off the charger. We'll strap down the turbo button and see how long we get out of it. Okay, how long does she blow for? Freshly charged, just off the charger, 6 amp hour, 36 volt battery. We'll chuck her on. I'm gonna just run it with the dial. So we're gonna ramp it up to the full dial mode, which is top speed without the turbo button, see how long we get. And then if I can be bothered, we'll do the turbo mode as well. Okay, let's go. Hopefully it doesn't blow off here. Right, well, that was pretty impressive. That was sort of 4 or 5 minutes longer than what I was expecting. Got another 6 amp hour here just off the charger so we can check the turbo button. Yeah, 22 minutes. It about a minute ago was it started slowing down, and when I pushed the button on the battery you get the old flashing single green light. But yep, pretty good. Battery doesn't feel too warm, especially seeing as it's sitting in the sun for most of that. Shade's starting to come over it now. As it slowed down, it did it in steps. It did a definite change in tone, and it held that for a little bit, and then it changed again, and then it held that for a bit, and then it started to fade off and cut out. Let's see how she goes with the turbo button. It just went and chucked that battery straight on the charger. Even though it didn't feel hot, it was too hot for the charger. So it is cooling down as we speak. Now, there's a little bit of a flaw with this in that if you stick a battery on with the trigger depressed or this down, it'll just start straight away. It doesn't have a safety sort of cutoff that, you know, most tools these days, even if they're turned on, you take the battery off and put the battery back on, they won't start up until you reset the lever or the switch or the trigger or whatever. Whereas this one doesn't. So, are we ready to go? Oh, better get my phone out of my pocket, set the timer up, and we'll go again. So we had 22 minutes on the high mode. What do you reckon on turbo? We're going to get 16, something like that? What do you reckon, 18? Place your bets. Hopefully, once again, we don't blow this thing off my sawhorse here. Are we ready? Oh, what a catch. Okay, she's too powerful. I'm gonna have to strap it down. We'll go again. Okay, can the duct tape hold it? Now you just have to take 17 seconds off whatever this ends up being. Is it safe to leave my phone here? I don't know. Let's go. Right, there we go. Round that up to about 1440 with the 17 seconds or so we had at the beginning with the false start. The battery is cool. Feels cooler than the last one, but the sun's not on it like the last one was. Yeah, feels pretty good. So 14 and a half, 1440. So it's more than half of the blowage of the standard setting, standard sort of high mode without the turbo. But I would have liked to seen another couple of minutes on there. But anyway, it is what it is. So I just went and tried that battery on the charger, and it was, of course, also too hot. I chucked the first one on, which has probably been sitting there by the time of the 15 minutes from that and the 15 minutes from before, probably about half an hour, and it's charging now, so cooled down pretty quick. I'll just show you something inside here now. Right, it is a little bit tricky to film, but if you see in there, we have a heat sink. So the air is constantly flowing over that heat sink. It's a pretty big heat sink, probably 75 millimeters, 3 inches by 2 inches sort of thing. And so that helps keep all your electricals and everything on this thing cool, stop it from overheating, keep the motor cool. It's all got air blowing over it, so that's quite a good idea. I haven't actually noticed that in another blower before. They probably all got them and I just haven't noticed, I don't know. But yeah, it's a good idea. Might as well use the air that's blowing through it to keep the thing cool. So if you haven't already worked out, I'm actually quite impressed with this thing. It is a good, powerful blower. It's quite heavy when you're sort of using it for a while. It's not a light blower by any means, but it's fairly quiet and it's got plenty of grunt. Now the decibel number on the tool is 95. On the box it's something like 58. Now there's a little asterisk next to that which tells you that that reading was taken 15.6 meters, I think it was, away from the tool. And why do they do it at 15.6 meters? Well, that's what they're classifying as bystanders. So as long as it's not too loud for bystanders, then that's how they get the whisper sort of name. But it is actually fairly quiet. It's a lot quieter than I think every other, I mean, even the little blowers I usually put earmuffs on for. So this thing is pretty impressive when it comes to sound, and also of course when it comes to blowage. It also stands up quite easily like that, which looks kind of cool. Looks kind of like a mortar or something now. And in the kit you get the 6 amp hour battery and a charger. Came with a fast charger too, so that was nice. And overall I think it is a very good Ryobi tool, and one of my favorite Ryobi tools now, because yeah, it can blow, baby. So cheers Ryobi for flicking me that, and if you want to see more Ryobi stuff, there'll be some down in the description and up on the screen here somewhere at the end of the video and up in the top corner and blah 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 blah. And cheers for watching. I'll see you on another one soon. Thanks guys.